Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Charlie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
Isn't it great? It was nice thunder showers last night, too. And you're waking up thinking, what's it going to be like? And boom, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wasn't
It's
too
Friday.
warm.
Yeah.
Feeling good on Friday, Rob.
Feel good Friday. We are feeling good and happy about a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling grateful.
Super grateful. Always be grateful, right? Wake up in the morning, first foot, thank, second foot, you. Thank you. I am grateful to be here today. You know what else I'm super grateful for? Dr. Joe Show.
Dr. Joe, Thursday nights.
Dr. Joe, you out
8
there.
o'clock.
We had two amazing episodes in a row. Last week we talked about Kim Barassa, the closest thing to Mother Teresa. Amazing. Now on our podcast, one of 225 or so episodes of the Dr. Joe Show. So if you have not had the time to listen live at 8 p.m. on Thursdays right here at WATD or on the Odyssey app, which is an amazing app, the Odyssey app.
Yep.
So you can listen to your favorite shows on WATD, this morning show, the best in the world. You can listen to those on your Odyssey app. But if you haven't had the time to hear those live, well, they're recorded and they're available. And, you know, you always want to be learning. And we're learning amazing things on the Dr. Joe Show. I sure am, sitting across with him and Thomas for the last 4 years. We had a gentleman last night, Joseph Green. I encourage folks to check out his website, lmsvoice.com. Really impressive individual. And, you know, every single guest that comes on that show, I learn something new. And, you know, a lot of people talk about this. Always be learning, always be growing, always be evolving, doing something to keep that brain muscle going. And the Dr. Joe Show has really done that for me, Robin. I know you're a listener. We're trying to get you on. We're doing our best, Dr. Joe. I'm working it too. We're going to get Rob on the show.
No, I do want to come on, and I wrote Dr. Joe, and I just got to work out to have a good time to come on.
Yeah.
I know the show is late near my bedtime, but
we're gonna be nimble for you, buddy. We're doing pre-records. We do them on Zoom, and then Larry puts them on for us and cues it up.
There's no excuse not to be on the Dr. Joe Show.
None. We want you because you know what? Small changes have big effects, Rob. And that small change that you would create by coming on the Dr. Joe could have huge effects. And that's one of the truths of the Dr. Joe Show. And there's also control no one, right? Control no one, influence everyone. And we always ask the guest, if it's control no one and influence everyone, what type of influence do you want to be? And I challenge the listeners to think about that. You control no one. As much as you think you do, or you want to, or it's happening by default, you control no one, but you influence everyone by your actions, by your words. What type of influence do you want to be? And one of the amazing things he talks about with the outsmarting anger concept is, Charlie, have you ever been mad at somebody who's been respecting you?
I don't know.
It's impossible.
That's interesting.
It's truly impossible to be upset with someone who's showing you respect. And that's all we want. We all want to be valued. That's it. And that's the concept of the Dr. Joe Show. So I encourage folks to dig in. You know, those podcast listeners out there, they're forming, they're growing. That audience is growing. I love learning through Audible. I know there's a lot of folks out there not into the reading as much, listening. Find the Dr. Joe Show, listen and learn, because there is amazing value out there. And be sure to tune in right here on WATD. And one of the other truths of that Dr. Joe talks about all the time is it's much more rewarding to be amazed at what your child is versus disappointed in what they are not. And that hits home with pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
It's worth tuning in, folks. We are bringing on amazing guests. We've had amazing guests. We were tuned in all through COVID. This is really where we really started digging in with the Dr. Joe Show. And check it out. I am super grateful to be part of it. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Appreciate you very much.
Dr. Joe, Thursday nights, 8 to 9 on WATD Live, or as Mark mentioned, you can get the podcast. We've got the podcast link right on our podcast page at 959watd.com/podcasts.